Oh, sweetheart, I am so sorry that it had to turn out this way, but you're just not good enough for my son. You see, he's my precious little baby boy, and I love him more than anything in the world, including his father and his sisters. That's why I need to dispose of you, and if you love him too, I'm sure you'll understand. But fret not, I will be there to comfort him. You know what they say, a mother's love knows no bounds.
Hey Mom, can I eat this rotisserie chicken?
Yes, honey. Night, night. You know, sometimes life gets a little too much. The endless to-do lists, the deadlines, the emails, it's chaos. And when I finally get a break, I like to escape, whether that means playing a game, scrolling endlessly, or testing new apps that I definitely don't need. It's my way of disconnecting from the world for a bit. But here's the thing, what if that little escape could actually pay you back? Yeah, you heard me right. You can literally make money while you zone out, and that is exactly what I do with Free Cash. Free Cash is an online platform where you can sign up for free and get paid to do things you already love, like playing games, taking surveys, and testing apps. Here's how it works. You pick a quick offer, maybe a game, maybe a quick survey. You complete it, and Free Cash rewards you with coins. Then you cash out those coins for real money, or grab gift cards from places like Amazon, or even get crypto if you're into that. It's genuinely that simple. No fake promises or weird earn a million overnight nonsense. You just play, test, or tap your way to a little extra money. Personally, I'm addicted to some of their puzzle games, the ones that make you feel like a genius when you finally figure out the level. So I tried one of the puzzle game offers on Free Cash, and it was called June's Journey, and it was actually really fun. The challenges were smart, a little frustrating in the best way, and once I hit my goal, I got my reward right inside Free Cash. Now a heads up, your first withdrawal requires you to earn $20, but after that there's no minimum. So once you've hit that mark, you can cash out whenever you want, which is great if you're impatient like me. Free Cash also has a 4.8 star rating on Trustpilot, which in internet terms is basically a miracle. And I even got some cash back doing small in-app purchases through their bonus reward system. It actually feels kind of nice turning your chill time into something a little productive. So if you want to give it a try, click the link at the very top of the description, or just scan the QR code on the screen right now. You'll even get a $5 bonus on your first offer. Big thanks to Free Cash for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back to the video. Hello, welcome back. My name is Stanzi Potenza, and I hope all of you had a wonderful spooky season. Now, Halloween might be over, but that doesn't mean that the horrors of the world haven't followed us into the month of November. October is full of monsters and ghouls, but today we're going to be talking about a creature far more frightening than the rest. Hell is empty, and all the devils are here. These devils walk among us and hide in plain sight. You could go your whole life and never experience the chilling horror of the boy mom. Before we get into it, here's a picture of my cat to take the edge off. That right there is my son, folks. But what some of you don't know is that I also have a daughter, but it's not what you think. This is my baby girl, Boo, and I don't love her any less, okay? She's just an anxious cat. She's shy, and it's hard to get photos of her. She's very elusive, and Binks is very in your face. He wants the attention. I swear I don't love him anymore, okay? But that does bring us to the topic of today's video. It brings me no joy to introduce you to the boy moms of TikTok. What is it about having a son that makes some women go, I think it's time for me to become the worst version of myself? I can already see the angry comments piling up from women going, excuse me, I have a son and I would never act like this, okay? How could you generalize like this? Relax. If the shoe doesn't fit, don't shove it on your foot, Michelle, okay? You're gonna break your toes. This isn't a Grimm Brothers story. Here's the thing. All boy moms are moms with boys, but not all moms with boys are boy moms. Does that make sense? Not sure which one you are? Ask yourself this one question. Do I kind of a little bit want to kiss my son on the mouth? If the answer is no, you're fine. And if the answer is yes, No, but actually, what makes a boy mom a boy mom? Boy moms are borderline obsessed with their sons and often their romantic relationships. There's often this competitive nature when it comes to boy moms and their sons' partners. And this sort of mentality sometimes begins before the child is even born and then follows them into adulthood. They don't think anyone is good enough for their son. They often show hostility towards their son's girlfriends or wives and lament over the thought of these women replacing them, which is utter nonsense because you were never dating your son and I am not his mommy. Now, sometimes these boy mom videos can just be cringy and weird, but this dynamic can get really creepy really fast and has led to couples going no contact with family members because the mother-in-law has this insane sense of entitlement and can't respect the couple's boundaries. It's weird, it's bad, and Freud is throwing it back in his grave. If I had a nickel for every time I saw a boy mom acting weirdly incestuous on TikTok, I'd have enough to at least buy a carton of eggs in today's America. Let's ease into it with one that's a little bit more mild. Contestant number 1, Avery Woods, come on down.
My boy moms feel me on this, but my son has my heart and my soul. I obviously am obsessed with Stevie Lee. She is just the greatest little girl in the world. But my whole life, I always wanted to be a boy mom.
Having this mentality in the first place is garbage, but announcing it on social media to your 2.6 million followers is crazy. Which brings up another point, which is that spouses aren't the only victims of boy moms. Daughters are too. Like, imagine you go to school the day after your mom goes viral for announcing on social media that she loves your brother more than you. Fine, just what the doctor ordered. Because adolescence wasn't hard enough, let's add a dash of influencer parent who treats you like an afterthought. And some people will be like, well, it's not like she said anything bad about her daughter. She called her a perfect little girl. Yeah, but she also says her son has her whole heart. She's like, yeah, I mean, I'm obviously like obsessed with my daughter. Doesn't even say love. It's like she's just trying to soften the blow. Now, I don't have brothers or terrible parents, so I can't even imagine how shitty and hurtful it must feel to know that you're not as special to your mother because you're not a boy.
I never thought that I would be that toxic boy mom. I love my 4 kids equally, but that last little boy just hits different. And now I feel like I'm having this existential crisis. Or I wouldn't be that mom, that toxic boy mom. He hits his sisters, he punches them. I'm like, maybe he's having a hard day. So when I think about my daughters getting married, I get excited, right? Enjoy their dresses, planning their weddings. When I think about my son's wedding, I want to cry.
No cock, no balls, no maternal love. Now maybe boy moms are just really close to their sons. Surely there's nothing weirder going on and we're all just overreacting. Oh boy, I mean, oh geez, no, that's what I meant. I swear I don't want anything to do with your son. Please, you can have it. It's getting a little Bates Motel, is it not? This is why I recommend dating orphans. And yes, you know, there's a whole other can of worms that you gotta deal with, of course, but it might be a nice change of pace. Sometimes I'm really thankful that I only have sisters and have never known what it feels like to be a girl being raised by a mother who has an unhealthy obsession with her son. But what's the harm in loving your son? Oedipus and his mom did it, why can't you? Well, what happens to these boy moms when their sons decide to get married? That's right, they become mother-in-laws. And we've never heard of them causing problems. Hashtag not all mother-in-laws. I get it. I've met some really cool moms with sons in my life, but also some not super chill ones. Allow me to share a story with you. I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about this woman, but allow me to paint you a picture. My last long-term ex had a mother that was deeply MAGA and Christian, and if you know anything about me, you know that I am not those things. Now, I actually only met her once because she lived out of state, but when I met her, I decided that I was just gonna be the super chill girlfriend no matter what. And there was one day that her and I were sitting and talking to each other, and we started talking about disabilities because both of us had disabilities. So I was talking to her about me having epilepsy. So I'm like talking to her about having epilepsy and seizures and kind of like my journey through that, and she takes my hand in hers and she tells me that I would stop having seizures if I had a more positive attitude. And obviously that's a crazy thing to say, but also I was being chill, so I was just like, yeah, that is something to consider. But then it got me thinking, because as I mentioned earlier, she was also disabled. She was in a wheelchair. So by her logic, how bad was her attitude? I only met this woman once, and her son and I were on and off again for years, and she would like stalk my Facebook page. Like, we were never friends on Facebook, but sometimes she would like accidentally like something and I could see that she was like watching my stuff. And then on my birthday in 2020, which means my birthday is October 17th, which means that the 5-year anniversary of this event just happened. On my birthday in 2020, after her son and I have been officially broken up, she randomly gets into a Facebook fight on my page with one of my mom's friends. So I see all this and I like reach out to my ex and I'm like, hey, come get your bitch, dog. And I can't believe it, but I actually found the exact comment that she initially left the other day, and I was like, oh my fucking god, I can't believe I found it. So I'm going to read that to you right the fuck now. Okay, here we go. So you are now an angry, lesbian, communist, devil-worshipping bitch? I don't believe that's who you are at all. I think you've been hurt and you're protecting your heart, but that's not the answer. I was really pained when you and our son broke up because I had grown to love you very much. I still do. You've allowed yourself to become very hardened on the inside and gone too deep into the dark side, but it's not too late to turn back. You will find nothing good in the darkness, just endless pain, which is not what you want in your life. Think about it. Always seek the light. Don't worry, I won't contact you again. I love you, Stanzi. I think she also commented that on something about me being bisexual, which, excuse me, Miss Ma'am, not the bi-erasure. I will say she did kind of clock me though. Okay, out of these 5, you got angry, lesbian, communist, devil-worshipping bitch. That's 4 out of 5 right there. Not bad. So let's just say I know a thing or two about crazy boy moms, and apparently so does the subject of this next video.
She said if I wanted to see my grandchild, then I needed to follow her rules. Her tone? Condescending. Her attitude? Entitled. And her rules constantly changing depending on the mood of the day. I was told that when I come over, what I can bring, what I'm allowed to say, and to leave any and all opinions at home. So let me be real clear. I raised a whole human, paid for all of his bills, have survived real life, and I am not about to shrink myself for a woman who thinks that marriage made her a monarch. You don't want a grandma. You want a doormat. And I promise you, I'm not her.
A huge problem when it comes to boy moms is that they often become insufferable in-laws that do shit like this. They pick all sorts of fights with their son's partners and they act super entitled. They don't respect boundaries that are being put in place, and this often ends in either going no contact or divorce. It's really frustrating when the husbands in these situations refuse to stand up to their mothers and protect their wives. And I understand there's some complexities to these situations and there are a lot of complicated feelings involved, but you have to protect your spouse. You should be prioritizing your spouse in these situations. That's what you're signing up for when you decide to get married and start a family. And it's incredibly disrespectful to you and your partner when you allow this kind of behavior from your mother. You make a vow to protect your partner when you get married, and you are not honoring that vow when you allow this kind of disrespectful behavior. And that could not be more true when it comes to this next video.
When she first got that tattoo, I asked her to cover it up. And at first she told me no. And I said, cool, I just don't want to be around you. The next day, She said, hey, I'll cover up around you. I'm so sorry. I was like, cool, I want to cover it up everywhere around me. Not just my home, everywhere. She said, cool. That's not what happened. When she ended up moving back home, I would be in other areas of town and of gathering, and I was trying to be civil for the kids, for my husband, trying my best to just deal and not, but nobody was taking it seriously enough.
So to summarize, this woman started having significant issues with her mother-in-law after she got a disrespectful tattoo. She didn't want her mother-in-law displaying it around her, and they originally agreed that she would cover it up around her, but then she didn't follow through with that, and that caused a lot of issues. The mother-in-law refused to respect this boundary, and the son didn't do anything to help the situation. Now you're probably wondering, what was the tattoo? Well, in theory, it was a kind gesture. She got a tattoo of an artistic interpretation of her daughter-in-law and her grandchildren. Aww, sounds nice, right? Wrong. Now, before I show you what the tattoo was, I want you to take a moment and guess what you think it is. Take a moment. Are we thinking? Yes? Do we have our answers? Okay, well, if your answer was 3 chimps, you unfortunately would be correct. Yes, behold, Grandma's horrifying half-sleeve children. Gather round, gaze upon its unabashed disrespect. Aside from it being insanely racist, it's also so ugly. Like, it's fucking huge. She wanted this to be as permanent as possible, it would seem. Like, her only options for removal would be a blackout sleeve or amputation. So obviously, we know that the wife has every reason to be upset and that her feelings would be absolutely valid, and yet the husband and the in-laws made her feel crazy. And this caused such a rift between them that they are now getting divorced. At least that was the update that I last saw. Oh, and did I forget to mention that she is currently pregnant? I have divorced parents, and they got divorced when we were pretty young, and it was not fun, so going through that while being pregnant sounds fucking awful. But have you truly left the family when your ex-mother-in-law has a permanent, gigantic reminder of you on her forearm? I think the only reasonable course of action is for the original creator to get a tattoo of a saltine and go, look, it's you, Grandma. And the most disappointing part about all of this is the husband that didn't do anything to support his wife during all this. The husband is also mixed, by the way, so this also should have been insulting to him. It's insulting to him, his wife, and his children, so this should have been an opportunity for him to step up and protect his family. And this is the problem with these boy moms who pamper their sons growing up. They're not raising them to be functional adults. They become dependent on this validation they get from their mothers, and they grow up in this bubble of protection that makes them not receptive to criticism. In a way, they're being raised like they're diet homelanders. One day, I'm gonna make a woman you like very uncomfortable. This is the future boy moms want. Like, this right here is so icky and weird. Ugh. Too often do I see weddings get overshadowed by shitty in-law behavior. Kissing your son on the mouth while you're walking him down the aisle. I would have to kill you with a gun. I don't see another option. Wearing white to your son's wedding, you goddamn lunatic. Welcome to the danger zone, you sinister hag. You know what? I'm gonna with your husband. How about that? How do you like that? Oh, is he deceased? I'm snorting his ashes. I don't care. This is what you asked for. That's what you get. They sabotage the most important moments of these women's lives because of their unhealthy fixation with their sons. And sometimes the sons do defend their wives, as they should, but it's so stressful. Like, you're over here trying to take care of a newborn, and over here Gladys from Weapons is trying to breastfeed a 35-year-old man. Like, it's obviously weird and creepy and we all hate it, unless you two wanna fuck your son, in which case you're a freak. Boo, boo, boo. Stay away from me, back foul creature. And look, father-daughter relationships can also be weird and toxic. Like obsessing over your daughter's purity and her dating life, and the bit that they do when the daughter brings her prom date over and the dad threatens to shoot the prom date with a gun. Like, that's not great. But boy moms are raising a generation of dysfunctional men who aren't equipped to handle adult relationships and are bound to have unhealthy dynamics with other women. They've become accustomed to essentially being worshipped and expect a certain standard of treatment. They have unrealistic expectations, and all of their future relationships are bound to fail because they've been pampered for their whole lives. And many of these women want their sons' relationships to fail because they're jealous, whether they want to admit that or not. You're not wrong for loving your son, but you are wrong in the way that you allow that love to manifest. I've said this before, but you don't get to dictate your child's life. And you are not entitled to them, their time, their spouse's time, your grandkids' time. And if you want to have a close relationship with them, you have to learn how to be civil and respectful towards them as a unit. It's already so difficult to start a family in this day and age. The birth rates are declining for a reason. It's unaffordable. The healthcare system's in shambles, so why would you risk all of that turmoil for a dysfunctional mama's boy and his Lannister-coded mother? It's like no risk, no reward. And like I said earlier, it's hurting families in more ways than one, because daughters are also impacted by these weirdly incestuous relationships. You little bitch, you will never be your brother. Please start checking this behavior for the sake of women and the future generations. You know, if you want a weird mommy-son relationship, maybe it's time to take out an ad on Craigslist. Who knows? It might save on some unnecessary trauma and divorce hearings. Thank you for watching today's video. If you have any spooky boy mom stories, feel free to share them in the comments or save them for therapy. I will see you on the next one, and if no one's told you today, mommy loves you.